2, the quality of your bud. Now, this is much like the quality of the food you buy. Whether your plant has been, laced with pesticides, it's been grown indoors, has it been exposed to enough air filtration, has it had, exposure to, pathogenic fungi, bacteria and yeasts, and how was it grown? With what intent did the grower, grow the bud? Was it just profit incentives, or was it, to actually use it as a medicinal plant? Something like 84% of plants can harbour pesticide residues, and that can be based on how the plant is grown. If it's grown organically, obviously it's going to use a lot of fungi and organic matter that the plant can use, and it's going to enhance the diversity of the diversity and the strength of microbes in the soil. Or you can use chemical fertilisers, which are the classic NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And it depends on how you grow the plant. So if you use just NPK, that can actually, give the plant essential nutrients that it needs to, mostly produce the THC. But it actually ends up, unless you actually supplement the soil with other nutrients, it can end up actually depleting the bacterial diversity in the soil, which might be quite an important factor for the plant to cultivate balanced cannabinoid profile, balanced terpene profile. And it's also been shown that depletion of the microbial environment in the soil is actually quite a good indicator of excess heavy metals. And excess heavy metals can, they might be able to find their way into the plant. They exist naturally in the soil anyway, but by adding, pesticides and using chemical fertilizers that might deplete the bacterial diversity, you might affect the level of toxicity in the plant in terms of heavy metals. And of course, this can actually go on, much like the pesticides in food. That can actually translate to them coming into your body when you smoke them. Especially when you combust the plant. Some pesticides can actually form compounds which can be quite toxic. Again, I'll link through to a few resources on this. So something like mercury, which is a heavy metal, lead, and cadmium, are quite well established to be present in things like anxiety and depression, and these you can accumulate quite easily from the environment. But again, taking them on from cannabis is another way that you can affect your mood and potentially augment depressive symptoms. So, the quality of your bud is a really important one. And in the UK, we have skunk, which is is grown on the fly. It's grown indoors. It's probably a lot of chemical fertilizers used. There's quite a large profit incentive. It's incredibly high in THC, and there's a lot of mental health issues related to smoking skunk, and it's probably a combination of those factors, in that it's very little CBD, very high THC, and it's probably laced with pesticides and chemical fertilizers. So, and actually indoor growing has been found to decrease the amount of CBD that you can find in the plant. So that's going to affect the high experience you get from it as well. So, aside from the heavy metals, pesticides in general are not good for your health. Some can be endocrine disrupting, meaning that they interrupt the HPA axis and the autonomic nervous system, which essentially governs neurotransmitter and hormonal communications within your body, which can have a profound effect on your mood, depression, anxiety, and things like that. So, quality bud is key here.